Mark King has slowed up, and so Stefan gets about 3 seconds lead, but look, virtually neck and neck as they swap over now. So taking over will be Kathy Taylor. That's Stefan coming now. Stefan is directing Kathy Taylor as she reverses to the trailer.
So, Stefan Johansson gesturing now to Kathy Taylor, who has taken over from him, but meantime, Jonathan Palmer is already in position as he backs up. Stefan is gesturing to Kathy Taylor. Let's see if they've made the hitch. They haven't. They've had to go forward. The automatic pickup hitch is not connected with Stefan Johansson, and with them still trying, away goes Jonathan Palmer. Now, Jonathan Palmer and Mike King streaking away, because try as she may, Kathy Taylor cannot get it to connect. Yes, the link is all right. Stefan is up there, but they're driving away, but the pickup surely hasn't been made. I haven't seen the spigot go down. So that's the dramatic situation, Mike Smith.
As they head off onto the course, we could be losing a trailer very quickly on. What a moment there for the Mark King vehicle. That's Jonathan Palmer at the wheel, trying too hard round the far bollards on the slalom and getting the trailer right off the deck. But watch the Kathy Taylor vehicle. It's her driving now, and she has not got that trailer connected up properly. We're pretty certain that that could drop off on the first bump they come to. Now, Jonathan Palmer has calmed down, and he's out of the slalom, heading for a 360. Yes, Murray?
Mike Smith, I can tell you that the right-hand Unimog has definitely not got the trailer connected up properly, so it's a moot point whether they're going to finish it as one unit.
Well, they're going through the slalom now as Jonathan Palmer finishes off his 360 and heads towards the finish area. There's the finish. She's really handling this truck ever so well. But look at the way that trailer connection is dragging on the ground there. It is a miracle that it has not fallen off yet. Up to the finish line, a good 30 seconds, more than 30 seconds behind Jonathan Palmer and Mark King. And that's heat one.
Victory there for Jonathan Palmer and Mark King, and in heat two it's the two Irishmen, McGuigan and Joey Dunlop. Did Barry McGuigan miss a barrel? Well, that's for Don Taylor to say.
Tried, went the wrong course, unfortunately disqualified.
Disqualified, so that means they finished last.
They finished last, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I didn't realise that we'd missed a bollard. I thought I'd missed a bollard because I looked to my left and then to my right, and it's very deceiving because you come in so tight, you think, have I gone past that or have I not? So I must have missed one. If the judge says in this one, I've this one. So.
The luck of the Irish has deserted you this time.
So the final is underway now. It's an electric contest between Mark King and Jonathan Palmer and Flip Schofield and Hugh Kankkunen. This is Mark King, with Jonathan Palmer helping him out there with the gear stick, I hope. And beating Philip Schofield and Hugh Kankkunen.
Mark King goes into the left turn. Schofield goes into the left turn. They come out of it. They're coming very closely up to the trailers. Mark King leading. Now, I presume they're going to change over and that Jonathan Palmer will be out of the passenger seat. Yes, Mark King is out. Jonathan Palmer is backing up. Schofield has lost the prop. The engine has died. Kankkunen has got to restart it. Meantime, Jonathan Palmer is already backing up to the hitch. Juha Kankkunen has got it organised, but not well enough. He starts to roll as a very cool and remorseless Jonathan Palmer, assisted by Mark King. They've done the hitch. You saw the trailer rise. Schofield is waving frantically to Juha Kankkunen, who's having trouble with the operating levers. Meantime, Jonathan Palmer is out on his own.
Well, this is going to give us a fascinating situation in driving force as Palmer roars towards the slalom. This means that if they carry on like this, we're going to have a draw for the lead on 14 points each. Now, Jonathan Palmer rattled round this slalom on the first run and got that trailer into orbit. He had the wheels well off the deck, but I notice he's taking it a lot steadier this time. He knows he's got time in hand. So it's a cruise back down to the finish line for Jonathan Palmer and Mark King. And what a turnover! We have a flip. Philip Schofield and Ewan Kankkunen have flipped their trailer inside the slalom. There we are, Mark King with the silver crash helmet in the passenger seat. It's a good time as well, it's fastest time of the day.
Well, it looks like a living disaster to me. Schofield out of the cabin and looking very sadly at the link that wasn't made satisfactorily. And it looks to me as though exactly the same thing happened to them as happened to the others earlier on, that the pickup was not made, the hitch did not automatically lock, the pin did not go down, and you can see the result.
And despite that disaster, Ewan Kankkunen and Philip Schofield are flying high on the scoreboard over St. Juan's Beach. 2 second places give them the joint lead on 14 points with Jonathan Palmer and Mark King, who won that last event. And let's now go to event 3. Take a look at these.
These are single-seater dingoes, 8 horsepower, belt drive, automatic transmission, 45 miles an hour, £1,000 will buy you one. After the amateurs race, Juha Kankkunen in pole position has got it all to do with his teammate Philip Schofield having finished last in the amateurs race, and Jonathan Palmer takes the lead with Stefan Johansson in second place. In third position it's Kankkunen, and down in fourth place it's Joey Dunlop. And Jonathan Palmer is in the team which was in the joint lead after the Unimog race. So if Jonathan Palmer stays where he is going to be in a very commanding position with his teammate Mark King, who finished second in the amateurs dingo race. And it is Jonathan Palmer, Formula One Grand Prix driver in the Tyrrell team, having driven in the Ram team before that, and the Zaxby team as well, who is leading. Now you can see the sand flying up from the rear wheels, and Johansson goes through. Johansson goes through, but Jonathan Palmer's got the inside line, and Stefan is really fighting back. And Kankkunen is right up with them. This is good stuff. Jonathan Palmer leads then with 2 laps completed, 4 to go, including the one that they're on. Juha Kankkunen fighting hard, trying to make up for the deficit after the amateur race, is up in third position, and Joey Dunlop is well down. Joey Dunlop in second place with his teammate Barry McGuigan after the Unimog race, and I remind you that Barry McGuigan won the amateurs race. So there is Palmer, and up into second position now has gone Juha Kankkunen. Where is Stefan Johansson? And the answer is that he is off the course, walking away out of the race and sharing Kathy Taylor's sympathy. So now this is lap 4. It's close at the front, very close, because Kankkunen is going for it, and he's through. Brilliant bit of passing. Juha Kankkunen, the rally world champion, is up with the 3.5 litre atmospheric world champion in Formula One of 1987. Jonathan Palmer retakes the lead. My goodness, they are both really going for it. And these cars, which only produce 8 horsepower, these dingoes, still produce some terrific racing. This is lap 5. At the end of it, and they're coming up to the end of it now, it will be the 6th and last lap. It's going to be the difference between 4 points and 3 points for Palmer, and Kankkunen, who waves his hands in despair. And it looks to me as though Jonathan Palmer has got it made. Now he's on the reverse straight. Kankkunen is closing. Juha Kankkunen, the Finnish rally world champion, is going for it on the last corner. Joey Dunlop is in a poor third position. Stefan Johansson is out of the race, but now the checkered flag is taken by Jonathan Palmer. Victory for Jonathan Palmer, 4 points. Juha Kankkunen in second position, Joey Dunlop in third place, and out of the race, but fourth, is Stefan Johansson.
Because
rally driver, full opposite lock.
Oh dear, that was just fantastic. That was the most magnificent dice I've ever seen. It was just brilliant. And you're rough.
Well, I had an unfair advantage, Mike, actually. The throttle had jammed open.
What?
The throttle had jammed open. It was fully open. I couldn't close it. So I just had to slow up on the brake now and again.
You mean you went flat out all the way?
Flat out.
Huey, you did a demon overtaking manoeuvre into that bottom corner there. They went up the inside and got cleanly through. It was brilliant. What happened from there on?
No, I mean, you are maybe a little bit lighter than me, but it's just a bit faster than mine. And I always lost these 5 meters on the straight lines. Even I tried to catch it on the corners, but it's difficult to pass here.
What happened to Stefan?
No idea. Never saw him.
Don't know, behind.
Kathy, the Pebble Dash look is rather nice on the face.
I haven't looked in a mirror lately, Michael, I'm afraid.
Have you had a good first day?
It's been great fun, yes. I think we hope to score a few more points tomorrow, but still to have lots of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of tactics going on here, aren't there?
Well, yes, there's one particular couple who are taking this very, very seriously.
Not Jonathan and Mark, surely.
Not Jonathan and Mark, no. Well, yes, perhaps it is.
At the end of day one in the contest for the Shell Trophy, victory for Jonathan Palmer in the Dingoes gives the two Englishmen a clear lead. Ireland's Joey Dunlop and Barry McGuigan second, thanks to an easy win by McGuigan in the Celebrities race. Kankinen and Schofield third, but Johansson and Kathy Taylor have got it all to do.
There's a lot more to the island of Jersey than the beautiful scenes you may see on Bergerac on television. It's 100 miles south of mainland Britain, 14 miles from the coast of France, and covers some 45 square miles with over 500 miles of roads with a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. A peaceful holiday can be had on Jersey. Just 80,000 people live on the island. The location for day one of driving force was this place, the 5-mile beach of St. Juan's Bay, which in summer is full of surfers. And we move round from the west coast to the south coast for day two, just by the town of St. Helier. The major attraction here for tourists being the VAT-free shops, no VAT in Jersey. The duty's considerably lower than in the United Kingdom. And they say about Jersey, it's nearer to France, closer to home. But the architecture, the customs, the language, the law, the landscape, the personal and the place names are all very different, except for Yvonne's. This haven for boaters is the harbour of St. Helier. And we moved to the beautiful Elizabeth Castle for day two of driving force, set out on a causeway in the middle of St. Albans Bay.
Event 4 is something very different. It's a seemingly impossible parking contest with more vehicles than there are places for them. There are the competitors, and in the yellow jacket, referee John Taylor, who's going to see that there is fair play, or at least he hopes he is. An amazing selection of vehicles, including 8-wheel and 6-wheel Isarcos, a little 3-cylinder tractor pulling the trailer, and more.
So we'll leave it running. So you've just got the handbrake to let go, and that's the throttle. Okay? And if you want to up the overall gear...
Mark King having another look at the little tractor. Lots of different gear shifts, handbrakes, steering wheels in funny positions, and look at the layout for the car park in Elizabeth Castle. Very tricky indeed. They're about to go off. First of all, Jonathan Palmer and Mark King, who have decided to send Jonathan to run and get the vehicles, while Mark stays back in the courtyard and measures things out. But to be honest, it's all a bit of an act, this, that they're doing, because last night, while everybody else was relaxing, Jonathan Palmer and Mark King took up Jonathan's helicopter, little flight over Elizabeth Castle, had a look down into the courtyard from 500 feet up, and could see the layout for the event. We also saw them doing it, and we changed the layout of the event this morning without them knowing. So they're about to make a couple of mistakes.
Mark's a pop star rather than a bass player
on.
rather than an athlete. I think he wasn't too keen on the running.
Is it?
Yeah, you're supposed to go, ah, what a shame.
Hello there, boy!
So Mark's taken to running now. He's heading for the milk float. He was a milkman before he was a bass player. And Jonathan Palmer putting the Fiesta onto the trailer behind the Isuzu. That's mistake number 1. Here comes Mark.
If you were putting something on the trailer, what would you be putting on?
Either the milk float or the Sierra. The length of the third garage is for the 2 Fiestas.